Hello, world. I want to talk about innocence and the ways in which me getting a new little kitten has taught me so much. So much. Um, Maybe I'll introduce you to her first. This is Lilu, and she is the runt of a litter. And we got her and her sister from the Humane Society, and it has been such a journey. I had no idea that I would have such initiations and trauma responses from caring for a tiny little fragile being during this Samhain portal from Hallows Eve to the new moon last night. Really, the dark moon is happening for 3 days, so technically we're still in the portal until the end of today. But I really felt an energy shift last night and this morning, really invoking the parts of me that I had yet to claim before, and also shedding the parts of me that were ready to die, and blessing them and honoring them and respecting them. And this little being right here has taught me so much. There was something that really dropped in for me when I saw my ability and my willingness to protect her at all cost. She wasn't feeling good for a couple of days. I ended up canceling lots of things and said, okay, you know what? This is the most important thing right now because this is right in front of me, and I can see that she needs a kind of care that no one else can give her. And it brought up so much around my inner child and even birth trauma and things with my mother and all of these pieces around the ways in which I was not able to protect myself in the past and to care for those really sensitive, tender parts. And I've been witnessing the ways that it has been opening my heart. I have projected these tender parts of myself, externalized into this tiny being. I think she's 2 pounds. And have gotten the most profound reflections and realizing that each moment is life, is existence. And as long as we trust each moment and our truth of each moment, then everything will unfold completely gracefully. Otherwise, we find ourselves in some state of resistance, in some state of suffering, when in fact our inherent nature is beauty and love and grace and flow. When we can trust the channel of our being, when we can speak the truth of what we need and who we are, how we express ourselves in the world, then we are on our path that our soul has designed, because we are creating in every moment this life. What we attract into our experience, what we make that mean, we are creating every part. When we trust ourselves and we're operating from our intuition, we're operating from speaking our truth, expressing ourselves in the moment, everything changes. There's no longer need to attract difficulty because we are in that constant cycle of expansion and contraction, light and dark. It is only our resistance of that that keeps us stuck in patterns otherwise. So, within my exploration of speaking my truth and caring for this tender being over these last few days in the Samhain portal, I have been able to access a part of myself that I was resisting feeling. There was this layer of anxiety that was in the background of my experience, and it was subtle, and I couldn't access it until I was able to see the truth of my priorities and my preferences and be able to speak from a place where I wasn't afraid to lose anything. So we're selling our property, our land here, the land that I live on, and that I'm sure you've heard or read that I love so much and that I had grown quite attached to. This house that I live in has been the most transformational physical location nest that I've ever had, and I've allowed myself to open to so many deep layers and initiations within my own being, reclaiming parts of myself that I didn't know how to otherwise. So we've been having people come and walk through the houses, and we're doing showings as little as 24-hour notice. And I've been feeling my root chakra just suck in every time we have a showing, and I have to sort of stage my home for someone else's viewing so that they can assess if they want to buy it and live in it. And it's been a really interesting journey. It's pretty destabilizing. But what came up for me, because we had a showing a couple of days ago, we have one today and we have one tomorrow, was this fierce mothering nature of, I need this cat to be safe, and I don't care about the showings. I need to know that this cat can be safe. And so I went through this whole process of what I would imagine it's like to have like a newborn baby, which I've never done physically in this body, and I probably won't ever. I've never felt the call to be a mother of a human child, but I felt this essence that I've never felt before, with the knowing that this life form within this kitten is my responsibility, and she had been sick, and I created a boundary. Like, I'm not available for this unless these circumstances and these conditions to honor and respect this cat, which is also me, can be met, can be heard, can be honored. And I had never stood for something so fiercely, because I knew, okay, if I am not available for these showings, and I was feeling some pressure from the landlord, from the owners, because they want to sell and they want to get an offer, and I stood my ground. I said, you know what? I don't care about any of this. This is what I need, and if that can't be met, I'm willing to lose everything, because this is what I believe in. This is what I'm going to protect. This is my boundary. I feel invaded. This is what I need to not feel invaded, and this is where I am. And just, instead of collapsing, instead of making somebody else wrong, instead of feeling shut down by something that I felt like I had to do that I didn't want to do, I said, no, I'm not doing that. And this fierce protection that I had never quite been able to access for my own boundaries, for my own body, through my own sexual traumas that I've been through, came forth for this cat, and it unearthed something in me. It showed me that I had integrated a piece of me that I had yet to feel in my somatic body since I've been doing this healing work and this integration work. And all of the pressure that I was feeling immediately alleviated. And everything aligned to meet my truth and to meet my boundaries. And all of a sudden, everything became easy. The cat got better. She did not throw up overnight, which was the first time that happened since I've had her. And I've been taking really tender care and, full time watch over her. And it was just like all I had to do was stand in that truth and that protection for not only the cat, but the parts of myself that I wasn't able to stand for when I was younger. And I didn't know how to claim my boundaries, and I didn't have that fiery truth to speak because I was in a completely different experience of survival. But now that I'm an adult, and I'm witnessing the survival of this cat, it has shown me and my internal parts, my inner child, and the parts of me that have been asking, can I trust you? Do you have me? Are you going to support me when things get rough and scary and I just need a safe place to be? Are you going to hold that safety for me, or are we going to get crossed and breached again? So when I was able to hold that, all of these parts of me just dropped in, fortified, strengthened. Yeah. Something came forth, and I feel that. I feel the meaning that is added. It's deeper than meaning. It's like a fulfillment. When I'm living in integrity and alignment with my values and my truth and I'm speaking them, there's a fulfillment and an enriching quality to my life that cannot be reached any other way until that embodiment is really dropped in. And because of our socialization, because of the conditioning and the programming that we have been given in order to transform, in order to alchemize, in order to transcend limitations, it's not easy to do all the time because it's thick, especially if we have identities within any of these structures of conditioning and programming and patterning and wounding. If we're not able to take responsibility for these things and really go in and feel the pain, then we stay fragmented. Because the thing with trauma is that it just needs to be felt, and it feels like the most intimidating thing ever in the moment. It feels like we might die. That's why we freeze, we fly, we fawn. But if we just stay with it and feel it all the way through and allow that present moment unraveling of the healing to happen, feeling all the feelings, speaking the truth, staying grounded in yourself even if everything is falling apart, allowing it to fall apart and knowing that that collapse or that constriction or that pressure will always have an equal and opposite balanced response of expansion, spaciousness, trust, integration, alleviating everything that once felt so hard. So I just wanted to share that little insight that came through. I was up in the middle of the night some and just receiving the clarity and receiving the awe, just sitting with myself and crying tears of gratitude for my own ability and willingness to go into the shadow and to speak what needs to be spoken. So I'm sending blessings for this dark moon, new moon portal in Scorpio. It's really thorough. At this time, we have the opportunity to dig up all of the roots that have died in our garden and really tend and pull up all of those little pieces. If we're not distracting ourselves, if we're not avoiding ourselves, it's a really powerful time to do that clearing work. So I'm giving that invitation. Also, registration is still open for Seasons of Sovereignty, which will begin on the 11th. It's a one-on-one container. I'm only taking 4 women, and it's going to be 4 months. It's going to be really deep. And so I'm just giving little tidbits of the awareness and the awakening that's been happening within me that's going to translate to this one-on-one work for the women that are called to do this work, to be in that self-initiation process, really going down, 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 in, all the pieces that have yet to be cleared, that have yet to be acknowledged, just completely in the forefront of your own awareness through the eyes of a witness, through that invitation, that open door to step into that safety, transform anything that wishes to be transformed, so that we can go in to come out, to be in our power, to express our truth, to express ourselves in a way that for many lifetimes has not been okay. But we are needed right now. It is needed right now. It is time. It is happening. And whoever is ready, I'm holding space for that. So if that's you, let me know. Otherwise, have an amazing integration. If things are difficult coming up for you, feel free, put some things in the comments. Let me know what's coming up for you, or if it's deeper than that, send me a message. I'm also available for, one-off support, sliding scale rate, for anything more immediate that wishes to be addressed and transformed, if you need support in that way as well. So here I am, here you are, here we are. Blessed day, blessed feeling.